In the modern age of the internet and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter, there are so many things that we don't agree on. But if there's one thing that everyone, whether you're Gen Z, whether you're millennial, agree on is that we are tired. We are tired and we want more time off. We want more paid time off. We want to take more time off work. And we don't want you managers to call us when we are on leave. So this got me thinking. I went on leave recently and I was like, oh my gosh, I still have to go back. I took a week off, but I was still tired even after a week. I'm like, what is wrong? And then I went on the internet. I was like, okay, what could be the issue? And I came across the two magical words, work-life balance. Yeah? Is it 3 words? I don't know. I think it's 2 words because the other one is combined by that very nice dash. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, work-life balance seems to be an ongoing topic right now in the corporate world. What exactly is work-life balance? Who gets to get work-life balance? Does it even exist? Is it something that you should be striving for as a person who is in corporate? Welcome to my channel. My name is Netemba Veni. I am an economist in South Africa and I like to discuss various topics mostly surrounding corporate and my professional life, but I also do talk about my personal life. And in this particular video, we're going to be exploring the idea of work-life balance. Yeah. So we're going to be looking at a few things. One, we're going to be looking at what exactly is work-life balance? What is the idea of work-life balance? And number 2, we're going to be looking at time versus energy. In the beginning of the video, I spoke about being tired all the time. So is the balance really coming from time or is it coming from energy spent at work? Because you also find people who work 9 to 5 and people who work in consulting and banking who work incredibly long hours, but they're still at the level of exhaustion, the same level of exhaustion. So what exactly is it? Is it time or is it energy? And we're going to talk about 3, ambition, and 4, how the work-life balance changes with the change in careers. And the last thing I want to talk about is health, because I feel like if we don't talk about health, we're sort of losing the essence of the conversation, because health plays a very important role in here. All right, so let's get on to it. First and foremost, what exactly is work-life balance? And I think maybe we have the wrong idea of what this is, because when you read on the internet, when you read the literature, so the idea is that people want to work X amount of hours every day. Those hours should allow them enough time throughout the day to go to the gym, to sleep, to spend time with family and friends, so time to themselves. And so that is the whole idea of work-life balance. So you'll find in interviews, people will be like, okay, so what are the working hours here? Because I want to figure out what my work-life balance is going to be. But when you look at it in detail, it really isn't like that at all. Because if you work in corporate, you know that the amount of time you spend in the office varies. So you find that sometimes you spend a lot more hours, you're working longer hours, especially if you work in consulting or any other career, to be honest, finance, banking, whatever. You find that some weeks you work really long hours and it's grueling and you're leaving the office very late and it's just like, oh my gosh, horrid, what am I going to do? And then in other times you leave the office pretty early, you have time for yourself. So is the balance really on a day-to-day basis or is it on a long-term basis? And how can you sort of find in the latter, because the first one does not exist. There's no time, there's no way that you're going to work the same amount of hours, apply the same amount of energy every day at your job, regardless of whether it's the end of the quarter or whatnot. So it varies, yeah? So when looking at the latter, which is you work different amount of hours on different days depending on where the company is, how do you then work out not being burnout? Yeah. And I think this, I will go back to this when I talk about my 3rd or 4th point, which is on the different type of careers, because I think this varies with careers. Bankers also have, especially people who work in finance, investment bankers also have quiet periods, but you find that even with that, they're still in the office for a long period of time. And you also have to take that into account. Yeah. So I'm going to be looking at that also in the next point. So when you think about work-life balance, just think about that. Yeah. So just don't think about, oh my gosh, I want to work 8 hours a day. So, because it's never going to happen. Sometimes you're going to work 4 hours a day. Sometimes you're going to work 12 hours a day. So it varies depending on your career. Yeah. And number 2 is time versus energy. Yeah. This is a big one. And I'm going to give you an example. What I find is if I'm in the office and it's not busy, yeah, and I have to be there from 9 until 5:30, I find that when I get home at 5:30, I'm so exhausted because I've just been sitting the whole day. I haven't been doing much and I've been talking and I've been, perhaps like because I'm bored, I'll have more snacks. And it's just like, it's very tedious a process that, as opposed to when things are a bit busy and, everything is go, so time moves. So then in that case, you don't really see, what happens. And so then what exactly is making me tired? Is the time that I'm spending in the office making me tired, or the energy that I'm exerting making me tired? And why am I more tired when I'm not doing anything as opposed to when the schedule is busy? So how does that even tie into work-life balance? It's very hard to put a pin on that, because how do you even do it? Yeah. And I don't know. Actually, on that point, when I wrote that point down, when I was preparing for this video, I was like, I don't know what the idea is. That I don't know what the literature is on that. Is maybe, and also there's also this idea in corporate that you have to look busy. So even if you're not busy during those times, you have to sort of play this pretend like you're busy and have your laptop open and you have so many tabs, or you're like, okay, let me actually do an extra shopping, let me actually reply to my personal emails, and then you find that you have a lot of things going on and you're exerting too much energy, whereas if you're just looking at one thing, which is your task at that point in time, you might spend less time. Yeah, so this is a thing to think about. And we then want to talk about ambition. Yeah, that's my third point. I feel like being ambitious has a price at work. Yeah. What you will find very quickly is that people who are there to just do their job and, get paid for it and go home, exert different energy and have a different work balance to people who are very ambitious and they want to get promoted and want to get promoted quickly and then the fast track. Yeah. So those two people could spend the exact amount of time at work, but you find that they have varying work-life balances, and it just is exhausting. The level of exhaustion is different between those two people. And I think I never really knew. I feel like even that changes at different stages of your career, at different times you are at different times at different years of your tenure at that job, because it's at the beginning, when you're still learning, you're not really thinking about promotion and whatever. You're still trying to find your bearings. As it is, at least that's what I think in regular careers, apart from investment bankers who are very oh my gosh, I need to get promoted, or consultant who are very competitive and are I need to get promoted. But in a regular job, in the first year, you might have less burnout than you would as you get higher up. And there's also very many memes about this. People will be like, oh my gosh, my phone started blowing up and I started becoming important at work. And that is because your ambition changes, and therefore your level of exhaustion at work will change as a result. Yeah, so something to look at. And the last point, which is point number 4, is different careers. Oh, I cannot tell you how important this is and how true this rings, because the type of career that you have, people in finance, and especially in the front office of finance, I'm talking about investment bankers, I'm talking about sales people who trade forex in big banks, and people who work in consulting, have different work-life balances, so different to people who just work either at the back office of the bank, that is maybe risk and assurance and all of that, and people who work relatively less demanding careers. That is another thing that you need to take into account, is that work-life balance for those people looks very different than work-life balance for myself and people who work relatively. I work in consulting still, so a work-life balance is still very much a big conversation because I don't have set working hours. But you will find that it also differs, yeah? And I think for me, when I talk personally, so that was my last point, yeah? And I just want to do a general reflection on this topic. When what I thought about is that I think because I've been through a burnout, like a serious burnout. Like I work at the top consulting firms, and although my hours are crazy. Like I could work like 10, I don't know, like I would work from 10 a.m. till like 11 at night or like midnight. And it was horrid. And I feel like I didn't have work-life balance because even after I left the office, even after I left the work, it followed me home. I was always thinking about it. It was so stressful. And I didn't even think about work-life balance at the time because it wasn't like a thing for me. You know, the only thing and you really can't even think about it because you just at like high stress all the time. Like you're really anxious all the time, and that you don't even know like if you're gonna make it that day. Yeah, like if someone's gonna yell at you, if like you're gonna make a horrible mistake, it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like you're always anxious. So when you're anxious, when you think about work-life balance. And I always say that the hours are not as bad as banking, but I will tell you right now, there was no such thing as work-life balance. My work was 90% of my life and my other life was like 10% throughout my career. Yeah, there's no work-life balance there. So when I think of work-life balance now, I don't think of, oh no, I want a job that's gonna make me work like 9 hours, 8 hours a day. I'm thinking of, I want a job where there is no like toxic energy, where there is a general and neutral understanding of what is urgent and what is not urgent, and everyone understands it and leadership understands that. Therefore, people are not thinking about work even after they leave, and people are not like stressed out all the time, such that they take work with them at home mentally, you know, physically and otherwise. So whenever you think of work-life balance as well, I urge you to think of it as like not necessarily a time thing, but like an environmental thing, and perhaps include the time. Because where I work now, I'm an economist. I'm still a consultant, but on the economist side, and the hours can be pretty long. But I feel like because leadership has a general idea of what is urgent, what is not, and what is not, and people generally care about your well-being, you are able to, you know, have a good work-life balance. And I'm super grateful for that. And it's become very important to me. And I think that's all that I wanted to say on this topic. Thank you so much for listening and staying throughout the end of the video. Continue thinking about work-life balance. You're not gonna solve it in one day. This video is certainly not gonna solve that. And I urge you to like have a conversation with your leaders on what that looks like for you without having the fear of being fired, because your life is as important as your work life. Yeah? Thank you so much.